Hey guys, this is Market Update. Nothing's happening. There's no reason to panic. Nothing's going on, right? Bitcoin's not going to go up 100% next week, and it's not going to fall 50% next week because of some crazy crash in the crypto industry, right? We have fallen away from the momentum from this move. The ETF move and the election move was big, but that's over, and the momentum has fallen away, right? We broke through the 50 and the 100, and the 200 period moving average is around 60k, something like that. So we could easily get there just from apathy. Right, nothing's going on, but why would we fall at 80% from here or 50% from here? There's going to be no crash in crypto, right? That's kind of over at this point. And so we're at trend, actually. Everything's fine. It's not bullish, it's not bearish. We're just kind of at the trend, you can see here. So if you're actually a long-term investor, then you have to be buying when Bitcoin is at its trend, right? Because the annual rate of return averaged over, let's say, 4 or 5 years is around 40 to 50%. So if you're buying the price here at its trend, you're buying 40 to 50% growth. If you're buying at 200k, you're not going to get 40 to 50% ARR. If you're buying underneath this trend rate, you're getting higher ARR. So you need to buy here if you want returns, right? The 200 period at 60 is usually deep value in relation to Bitcoin's trend, right? When the price gets there or underneath there, you just have to shut your eyes and buy. If you want this chart, it's part of the crypto course. You can ask me in the Discord server to just put the chart in there for you. I'll link the crypto course below. But this is my long-term chart. So 10 years time, anywhere from 500 to $1 million a coin, I think is possible. And if you're buying right here at this trend rate, you're buying 40 to 50% ARR. Obviously up here, I think the ARR falls a little bit, but we're at trend. And there's no reason for it to go up 100% tomorrow or down 50% tomorrow. Right? Nothing's happening. Inflation is soft according to Trueflation. So that's definitely something to look at, because the worst thing in a debt-based economy is disinflation or deflation. That is even worse than inflation, right? That's why they print money when they get deflation, because if you have that, everything collapses. Something to keep an eye on, right? Because you definitely don't want this accelerating too much, because deflation in a debt-based economy means everything goes down in value. So Bitcoin will, the stock market will, your house will, your wages will, right? So we don't want that. So that's something the Fed can look at. Trueflation seems to be a leading indicator for the government figures in green and gold here. That's CPI and PCE. Trueflation in white seems to be accurate and a leading figure, a leading indicator. And it's coming very, very soft. So that's something the Fed could look at. But look, there's no real reason why they have to print money tomorrow and the price of Bitcoin goes up 150%, right? I think they're pretty much in control. They can cut interest rates a little bit. Maybe it helps out a little bit, but we're not in the era of Bitcoin's going to go 10x next week. It's just not going to happen anymore. So if you're an investor, you have to invest in the asset. Invest at trend or below trend is absolutely fantastic. And in a few years' time, that's going to be a great buy. But there's no specific tradable event where we're going to go crazy next week. The ETFs and the election were great events to trade. In a midterm year in the US, it's a little bit more choppy, right? So you just have to get through it. But these are good prices, right? These are good prices. Can you sit on a loss on it for a bit? Yeah, sure. But buying at trend, an asset that's going up 40% a year, is pretty decent. I'll also leave the link to Bybit down below if you do trade. Look, catching a falling knife is pretty difficult here. You have to kind of wait till we gain momentum again to see what you want to do. But Bybit give a deposit bonus. If you deposit anything on there and trade, they'll give you up to a $30,000 deposit bonus to trade with. I'll leave that link in the description as well. A major difference this cycle, which we've not seen in many cycles, I think, is the different way that economic data is coming out. So since 2008, most of the economic data in the West has just been manipulated by money printing and government policy, government expansion, right? So we're just going to print money, and that will manipulate GDP higher. And then we will expand the size of government, employ more people in government, and tell you that unemployment is low. So we're going to print money and employ everyone in the government. And of course, you can tell everyone that the economy is doing great because unemployment is low and GDP is high. But all you're doing for that is manipulation of the data and of the economy. 20 years later, young people turn up and say, what have you been doing for 20 years? You've just printed money and you haven't produced anything. So now we don't have any houses to live in and our economy is completely wrecked because there's no factories or no manufacturing of anything and we don't produce anything and so we're poor, right? That's the game. That's what's happened over the last 20 years, right? So the policy in the US now, slightly different, of tariff everyone and get that economic activity back in the US. And that creates GDP through real economic activity rather than just money printing from the central bank. Look, will that work over time? Let's see. But it seems to be working, right? Inflation, so supply side has increased, so inflation seems to be coming down. And the manufacturing PMIs are starting to pick up right now. The GDP is quite strong in the US. So it's clearly working, right? And the other thing is that because the central bank isn't printing huge amounts of money now, is that prices are more real. And so they're more volatile. The central bank came out tomorrow and said, don't worry, everyone, we're just going to print more money. Don't worry about it. All assets will go up, right? And there'll be very low volatility and everything will just bid up like this. That's not natural. That's not normal, right? So with more natural, normal pricing, you're going to get way more volatility because the US admin now want to bring back currency creation to the banks. They want to re-lever the banks through the ESLR, right? That's more uncertain. When are the banks going to create that money? When is that liquidity going to flow into markets? Way more uncertain than the central bank saying, we got you, we're just going to print money, don't worry about it. Everything goes up. So you have more volatility, you have more reality. And Bitcoin and other assets, I mean, there is way more volatility in assets now. You can see it, right? So the market has to digest this. And the price of everything, especially assets, the only thing is how much money is there and what is the market's expectation of the increase in the supply of that money over the short term. So what is the rate of change going to be in the money supply? Debt creation. If you put that back to the banks, it's more uncertain. The central bank comes out and says, we're just going to print loads of money. It's very certain and everyone just bids everything up. And there's no volatility. But no volatility is unnatural. And so we're seeing natural pricing come back into the market, which is more volatile. And I'm fine with that. I'm in the best asset. This is the best money. So just chill out because it's going to go up 40 to 50% a year, then at 30, then at 25, right? But look, we need buyers of Bitcoin. Who's coming into Bitcoin? The treasury companies are the buyers of this cycle. You can see that very clearly. The rate of change has slowed and markets just simply rely on the rate of change of the amount of liquidity, right? So the rate of change of liquidity into crypto has slowed. So markets, the price is going to slow, right? The rate of change of money printing, the central bank has slowed. So, you know, Bitcoin's going to just come off a bit, right? There's no fundamental reason why people should chase the Bitcoin price higher right now. Right, and if the central bank wants to print, be careful what you wish for, because if they're printing, it means inflation is pretty low. If inflation is low, asset prices will go lower, including Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is way sensitive to this stuff. So things are more real, and that's fine because Bitcoin is real money. It's the realest thing, right? But if there's no money printing, it's just going to be more volatile. But the money printing has to happen, right? If the banks aren't creating enough and there's disinflation, the central bank will step in. But of course, you have volatility before that. Look, 62% of ETF inflows are now underwater. That's par for the course for every bull market, for every rotation. Buyers come in, they have to bid the price higher. You get your Bitcoin, then you're done, right? The rate of change slows. The rate of change of money supply, of liquidity into the market slows. So the price comes off and you sit on a loss. And that happens every bull market. Finally, as well, the manufacturing PMIs are picking up. And unfortunately, this is now a cursed metric because everyone on Twitter, everyone on X is talking about PMIs now. And I've said in many videos, if the PMIs pick up, fantastic news, because pretty much every PMI cycle, this is a manufacturing PMIs, right? When they pick up, Bitcoin usually does really, really well. And I've been waiting for this and it's finally seeing some sort of expansion. Unfortunately, the metric is now cursed because crypto Twitter's all over it, saying that Bitcoin's going to go 100% next week. Unfortunately, it's cursed, so this won't work out anymore. Same with M2, right? M2 was like perfectly correlated. Then it went way higher. Bitcoin didn't because it was a cursed metric because everyone said, look, it's going to go way higher. But look, this is decent news, right? Because you need real manufacturing economic activity to pick up. When this does, it means that economic activity is expanding, maybe more currency creation coming in. People are earning a bit more money. What do people do when they earn more money? They save it, right? So assets do pretty well. So historically, Bitcoin has been very correlated to the PMIs. Unfortunately, it's now a cursed metric. Again, the credit cycle halfway through. You know, are the Fed going to drop rates to zero tomorrow? No, but I think the market is kind of underpricing the amount of cuts that could happen because look at CPI on Trueflation. So if we get further supply side increases, which is happening, then you're going to get further softness in CPI, and that can help the Fed lower interest rates a bit, right? Why not? And especially on the long end as well. If the US reduces the deficit, or not reduces it, but reduces the increase in the rate of change and brings it down to around 3% deficit, which is what they want, that can bring long rates in a bit, which will definitely be better for BTC as well. But look, As long as inflation comes down, they can cut rates a little bit. But again, it's not like tomorrow it's going to rate, it's going to go 100% because they're going to drop rates to zero. Things are just bumbling along a lot more real and a lot more natural. Bitcoin is, at its trend rate of growth. So everything's fine, but there's no reason to panic either way. But we're obviously in a big rotation out of this move, and we have to find some other narrative or some other move. But it could be weeks away, it could be months away. But Bitcoin is the strong asset. This is what I want to be in. If you trade crypto, check out the Bybit deposit bonus down below. And if you want the crypto course, I'll link that down below as well. You can get my chart, and there's 300 videos there on how to invest and set up your portfolio, so you can just invest and then forget about it and get on with your life, right? I'll link that in the description below as well. I'm James from IZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.